everybody. Welcome back to the beautiful JW Marriott here in Phoenix, Arizona for the SMACNA Annual Convention. I have the pleasure of being joined by SMACNA's own CEO, Aaron Hilger. Aaron, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Seth. You know, it's always a pleasure to hear that big booming baritone of yours.
I hear about all the time in the office.
We can hear you through the whole convention when you let it fly.
Oh, I know. It's kind of my calling card, so we'll call it that. First off, let's reflect on this is convention number 2 for you.
Yep.
What are your big takeaways right now?
Well, I think there's a hunger and a thirst for more engagement. So this is one of our largest, if not our largest convention on the 48 states in probably the last decade. I think we probably could have sold 400 or 500 more rooms if we had had the space to do so. Our members are really interested in learning more. They're really excited and showing up and having a good time and socializing and networking and learning from each other. So I find that creates a lot of energy and is really exciting.
And what, from your perspective, are the members eager to learn about?
It's new technology. It's developing the things they need to do to be successful in the future. But along the way, we still have workforce challenges, and there's creative ways to meet those. We have lots of mega projects, and figuring out how to bid on a mega project, how to team together with other contractors, or how to approach the risk sharing on those things in new and different ways are, I think, really interesting for members.
And let's kind of talk about the workforce part. Be for All is something that I think is a passion for both of us, or something we're both involved in. Why is it so important for contractors in this day and age to build a workforce where everybody feels like they just simply belong?
So the number one thing in the last 2 years that our members have talked about is I've traveled over the country and visited chapters and attended board meetings and participated in strategic planning sessions or gone to large networking meetings, is everybody's talking about workforce. And that's not just the field workforce, that's project managers, estimators, accountants, bookkeepers, everything you need to run your construction business, our members are looking for. And what I would challenge some of them, particularly in the field workforce, but also some in the office, is we have to look in different places to find workers to fill these jobs, and we may need to change our culture to retain people in those positions. I grew up as a roofer. I was a roofer in the early 90s. My family was in that business. Those guys were kind of tough and they were kind of mean. And I'm not sure they were bad. They certainly weren't bad people, but the culture they created was very Darwinian and at times very hostile. We can't afford to have that, because if we have these big projects, we need to hire people and keep them. And making your company a great place to work, where everyone is valued and is free from harassment, means you're going to keep those workers and you're going to become a desired place for them to be. And they're going to tell their friends, and their friends are going to come work for you too.
And the nice thing is that we have willing labor partners that share that vision. And there's a lot of change going on. Obviously, you're in your second year CEO, and we have just welcomed Mike Coleman over as the General President of SMART. And I think that's somebody that you are very excited to work with in the coming months.
I couldn't be happier that my friend, General President Coleman, which feels weird to say because he's Mike to me, really, has that role. Yeah. He's a great partner. Joe Sellers was a great partner. Mike was one of his key supporters in getting stuff done. And I know that Mike and I and our labor relations teams are going to be able to move our industry forward. We think the same way. We agree on 95% of the issues that we work on, and the other 5% we don't need to focus on. They are things that are positional, that are inherent in the labor management relationship, and really don't get us anywhere. We could spend all our time fighting over those, and it wouldn't make a difference. So let's work on that center, which is really more than the center. It's almost all of it, to actually move our industry forward, to get more work hours, and to capture more market share. And that's what we're both focused on.
And I think the progress I've seen, I've been in labor relations roles before, different parts of the government, private partnerships. The relationship here is not like anything I've ever seen in my 15 years of professional living. This is so positive. It's collaboration. It's not adversarial. It's let's make things work. Yeah. And that is such a breath of fresh air from my perspective, just like I said, Pat, from my previous experience.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't a full surprise, but one of the things that was incredibly pleasant and welcoming for me joining SMACNA is that this is an area I didn't have to worry about. Obviously I was friends with Jason Watson, well before that. I knew most of the labor relations team. I knew a lot of the senior leadership at the union because of my experience with SMACNA as a chapter executive and also running SMACNA New York State. But I didn't realize how strong that relationship was. So because, at the time it was Mike and Donna Silverman and Jason and, Maggie and the whole group of them were positioned to just simply solve problems, which meant that Joe Sellers and I could focus on things that really matter and things that move the industry forward. We still have most of those same teams in place. They change a little bit over time as people take different roles and step in or step out. But I'm confident that they're going to continue to make good staffing decisions, and so are we, and that will allow us to move forward.
Now, Aaron, one thing you and I have in common, I think one thing that has allowed us to build such a very positive professional relationship is we are both from the political sphere. We're both, our backgrounds are there. And despite the chaos, which, if anyone's keeping track, today we still do not have a Speaker of the House of the United States.
Are we on vote 3 yet? I don't even
No,
know.
we're not there yet,
All right,
unfortunately.
I lost track earlier.
Jim Jordan keeps striking out for anyone that
Shocking.
But SMACNA in our space has had a remarkable winning streak over the last 18 months. And I think contractors understand what the positive, but it's just, when you fully grasp it, it's incredible.
So we can't talk about this space without talking about Stan.
Yeah,
so
no.
I first met Stan Colby, and at the time Dana Thompson was his right-hand person, in 1993 when I was an intern at the National Roofing Contractors Association. Stan was working on the issues that we're winning on today back then.
Yeah.
So SMACNA has been incredibly blessed and fortunate to have someone of that caliber with his team around him on these issues that we care about, whether it's Davis-Bacon or tax credits for manufacturing or 179D, all these things that matter to our members in terms of keeping and retaining work. We've been on them for 40 years, and we're a white hat actor. We are consistent in our positions. We don't take extreme positions. We are an advocate for our industry. We don't throw bombs at anybody. We work with anyone who can work with us, and we're seeing the benefit of that today. Sometimes the partisanship gets a little silly. I don't always love everything the Biden administration does. I come from a contractor background, small business family. That means you're sort of an old school Northeast libertarian kind of Republican. Some of the stuff feels a little goofy, but on the issues that SMACNA cares about, that are really important to our members, we couldn't have a better partner than who we have right now.
And I think that's the thing that really strikes me about our space is it almost feels nonpartisan. Like the issues that are core to SMACNA are wins for everybody.
Yeah. We care about indoor air quality. We should have cared more about indoor air quality before the pandemic, but now we've had a pandemic and a lot of people care about it, and our members aren't in a position to make buildings safer. I don't think that's a partisan issue. I certainly hope that it isn't.
It goes back to student achievement. I've got a family of teachers, and student achievement is always kind of a pressure point for them, and the statistics are there that the better the air, the better the student.
Yes. I do understand now with all the work that we've done, you can go look at, We Are What We Breathe, our great website. I wasn't sleepy after lunch in high school because of the really bad piece of pizza and fries that I ate. It was because of the bad air in the building. I'm going to go with that story. It's probably partially true. It might have been the horrid diet too, but I'm sure that didn't help, right?
Well, I went to Department of Defense schools, and I don't think any school I was built before 1938. So
and there was no ventilation in that building.
No. So to kind of close out this conversation, what do you envision being your goals for SMACNA in the next year?
I think there's a couple things to talk about, and an example of that was this morning. We had a fantastic product show today, and we had over 70 vendors at it. That's quite a few more than we had last year. SMACNA's growing. We've taken our associate member program and almost doubled it in size, and I expect us to add a significant number next year and the following year. We've moved from an association that was in a very stable place that really didn't change very much to an association that's becoming a lot more dynamic, a lot more flexible, and a lot more responsive to our members. So my goals in that space really revolve around that. I'd like to see us increase our associate members. I'd like to see us engage more members. We have 25% of our members at convention. What if we had 50?
Yeah, exactly.
That would be really cool, right?
Okay.
That'd be a huge difference in terms of who's here and how we're educating members. If we look at our chapters and our chapter executives, we're investing heavily in programming to build stronger chapters and build stronger chapter executives, which is important because that's where the SMACNA member experience starts. We're working on revamping our education programming, and again, point 3 of our strategic plan. All of those things taken together means that we are moving the industry forward, and that is my ultimate goal. And I'm going to do that with my great SMACNA staff and my labor partners.
Well, we're looking forward to that year ahead. And thank you for your leadership, and, well, quite frankly, thank you for your friendship. It's been a great professional mentor to me, and I've definitely learned a lot in our almost 2 years together, believe it or not.
That's
so
pretty good. It's amazing how fast that time has gone.
It just flies by. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you.